Yeah. Sam in the spot cooling out. Long day at the job, man. I mean, very, very treacherous, right? So, it's been weird. Like for the past 4 months, 5 months, I've been going through like this transition, and some of it's been good, some of it has been bad, and I've been noticing that I have to measure myself as a man, also as a human being in regards to it, and I finally reached the pinnacle of it, and it feels good, really does. I do notice like I had to go through a learning experience, and one of those learning experiences is the fight of infrastructure. And shout out to Q Butter, man, for the video that we were on. We did the panel on the neutral zone, and also for the sub as well. I got to sub you back, which I probably, if you check it, it's probably already done. But I mean, I heard a lot about Keep Butter too, man, and I mean, he really spoke very, very well, very articulate. Um, much respect to that dude. But the argument that always comes up is infrastructure. I noticed that on one of someone else's videos, and also behind the scenes, right? I was clowned for continuously talking about infrastructure. All you want to talk about is infrastructure, and the black community had all this and shit, right? Come on, man, chill. Sorry, my fucking dog, man. She's all right. Yeah, go over there. I'm sorry. Look, check it out. Um, the whole infrastructure argument, it boils down to the fact that black men are being disrespected in all types of ways. I argued with Obsidian yesterday. I argued with the general yesterday. Who else? I mean, I witnessed a lot of things, and I noticed that a lot of people don't see it the way it is. People have their own ideology. People feel that however it's supposed to be their way. I consider a lot of people's thought processes. I consider what everyone has to say about certain issues, and I weigh them out. So when it comes down to these videos and these panels that occur on the black sector of YouTube, it always boils back to, hey, why are black women like this? Or the black women are like, hey, why are black men like this? And it's usually like why black men don't have their shit together. But they don't really dig deep into it. And when you dig deep into it and you pull out the solutions, it's always too much work. Going back to black men, going back to the generations, Generation X, and it's going to be the millenniums if we don't. I mean, it kind of is the millennials. I mean, all the millennials do is just fuck, right? Have babies. Some of them have learned, okay, I'm not gonna get with a woman who has multiple children, or I'm not gonna get with a man who doesn't have his shit together, who can't treat me like a lady, and he has these street and book attributes to them, right? I I talk about it all, like the whole thing about the relationships and women. I kind of get off of that, but I usually speak in general when we talk about black women in a vacuum, black women as a whole, where we kind of discuss why black men feel the way they feel and why black women feel the way they feel, and in regards to the supremacy of white people and the fact that they control the media, they control what's being promoted, and we abide by the trends in regards to that. And all the races they they will respond to our trends that we set forward. So I think those infrastructure comments are definitely important. This is what the black sector of YouTube was created for. This is what the Black Manosphere was created for. Now, I've been on a lot of these panels, man, for a while, and one thing that is real funny to me is like they got the black conscious community and the black manosphere, right? And there's always these comments about the black manosphere being, infiltrated or just being absorbed by the black conscious community, which involves, treating black women like queens, and also, there's a religious factor in it too. Now, not considering that those women come from a patriarchy, almost like the NOI. These women, they come from a standpoint where, their men were there, their fathers were there, brothers were there. They had great examples. Or if you look at the black community as a whole, or even just based on the trends that are out there or the stereotypes of black people, this is not the case. I mean, we sit on black YouTube and we argue about, not all black women are like this. Not all black men are like this. So it still has to do with the infrastructure. We complain about the black community. We complain about the ghettos. And then when everything is said and done, when white supremacy comes along, we complain about gentrification. I mean, when I talk about infrastructure, I don't talk about infrastructure in the physical form all the time. I mean, but if we did talk about infrastructure in the physical form, I mean, we talk about these small mom and pop businesses, right? And see, that's what I was being attacked by on Ren's channel. Well, you don't get respect owning a mom and pop business, whereas you go to the 60s. I told them, like, let's bring it back to the 50s and 60s where black people could not congregate or get with the white people. They couldn't drink the same water fountains or eat at the same places where white folks were. And we had no choice but to have businesses for ourselves. And we need to go back that way. I mean, a lot of immigrants, they come here and that's what they do. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I see this a lot with Somalians and other Africans. I mean, they have a format that damn near can't be fucking touched. And we need that same format. I mean, I find it kind of strange. I mean, I've said it before. I find it kind of strange that Asians and Arabs could go inside the black community and suck it dry. We'll take your money. Oh, hell, we'll even take EBT cards. We even take food stamps. And I'm like, when I start talking about a lot of these things, a lot of these fucking black men, they're like, oh, this is too much work. This is too much work. But then at the same token, you complain about why black women aren't respecting you. I was disrespected a few times, man. That's why I decided to put in the work, like, cause I was disrespected by a few black women, and me and another fellow YouTuber that's out there. We used to argue a lot on Blog Talk Radio, and also just over the phone about black women not respecting black men as a collective because we work for these white companies. We don't have any black banks where they can work, you know, so they have no choice but to get their money from the white man. So they look at white people as being the providers. They're able to set the rules and the punishments. And, it's absolutely true. But when we talk to black men about it, it's like, no, no, we can't do that. We can't build a mansion in the hood. There's no mansions in the hood. I got to move out. There's too much crime in the hood. We got to move out. There's just no fight anymore. Um, and people that I know personally, they talk about, you can't do it, Sam. You just can't do it. You can't do it alone. And you're right. You cannot. When I would drive home or when I would drive around or go to work, I would listen to a lot of these panels before I got on them, and I used to take and be like, yeah, man, I got a lot of respect for these guys. You know what? They're actually speaking some good shit, and then some of these guys they actually follow me as well. Been following me for a while, and I appreciate that to the utmost. So I was like, man, this shit is incredible. But then some of these guys, when I got to know them personally, they kind of got a little wishy-washy. They weren't consistent. Things kind of changed, and we started to argue. Um, I see a lot of things that go on these panels, and it's really based on popularity. You know, I felt that it was important for me to get on a lot of these panels because, you know, hell, you're a YouTuber. Um, Before I even got on these panels, people would listen to my videos and they were like, "Man, you got some good information over there, but you know, you need to take it, kind of like mingle around and be social a little bit." And I did. And some good things happen, some bad things happen, right? So, and I met some cool people, man. It was just weird. It was weird, just you know, going on these panels and just going into the chat and just reading the chat and seeing what people had to say. I appreciate that. Well, the one thing I just don't like is everybody always talks about the issues. Well, the problem is this, the problem is that, and no one ever considers the solutions. And when I hear people come up with these issues and they come up with these hypothetical questions uh, of why the black community is the way it is and their answers about it, and immediately I always have the solution, but there's no way of getting around it. There's just no way of getting around it. Should I give up? I've done a video on that, the right to leave part two. I've done this a while ago. Um, I'm a humble man, real humble about it, but I am definitely passionate about it. Key Brother said the other night, he was like, "Man, you sound kind of burnt out about it." He heard it in my voice, and yeah, I am. I'm burnt out about that. I'm burnt out about a lot of things, man, because you can try so hard on plenty of things, and people have this weird mindset, this weird agenda with them. You can't change it. It's weird to me because on the outside of things, just on the surface, when I look at other races of people, and I'm not talking about white people, I'm not even talking about Americans, I'm talking about when it comes down to immigrants, it's like, they all stick together regardless. They will protect their reputation as a group, right? When it comes down to us, it's like we don't do that. I remember back in the day, and I'm probably rambling by now, but I remember when the DC sniper attacks took place. And I didn't know that it was actually going to be so close to home to me. I didn't know that it was going to be seriously close to home to me. Seriously close. 'Cause I actually met the man. Didn't know it. Didn't know it until after all of this shit happened. But when this did happen and they were looking for him, I just knew for sure he was a Caucasian. And it's because of the protection of our community. We all knew just based on reputation, he was not black. And he was. And I was so disappointed about that. So disappointed. Um, Reputation is important, man. So I can't really be too long because I've been getting a lot of text messages. Um, but infrastructure, the conversation infrastructure is definitely important. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck, man. You guys, man, on that panel the other night, Obsidian. Reputation is important because I was explaining, hey, that's why you have a channel. That's why you talk about black female fuckery because you feel some type of way about it. Even the ones who live in the outskirts and they work at these high class jobs, they feel embarrassed about the black community as a collective. Come on, man. This is why you are here. I even mentioned like a couple of YouTubers. They agreed when I said that it's hard to just come into the black sector of YouTube just on a humbug. You got to really be searching for something. You have to come here looking for answers. You don't just roll up on this shit. Um, a lot of people agree with that. But then I noticed too, getting on these panels, there's another sector. There's a gossip sector, and it's weird with that. And I don't think that that should be a part of the black sector of YouTube. I think that should be more into the entertainment sector. But they're like the conscious community. It's like they're pushing themselves in there. Um, they're slowly trying to push themselves in the black sector, the black manosphere. I mean, I can even throw the Black Order in there. You know, I can throw maybe the Great Regime, all of these guys in the black manosphere as a whole. The guys and some of the women, who talk about the issues in the community. They try to figure things out. Um, they want things to get better, but some of them just don't know how. And then you got this other sector, you got this religious sector that's there who have developed a patriarchy, and all of a sudden here they are, they're coming into the black man's spirit. Look, I'm a lone wolf. Now with this whole gossip shit, this gossip community, there's a group of people who get on YouTube and they gossip. They talk about other YouTubers and shit, and there's kind of like there branches from that. Like even them, they're trying to sneak into the black sector of, and even the conscious community as well. Like they're sneaking into that and they're trying to fucking dismantle that. Um, and then what they do is after they dismantle it, then all of a sudden it's all about their agenda. But I don't know, man. I'm just glad to be well rounded. I'm glad to be the man that I am. Shout out to a lot of people, man. I mean, when I see you, you know what it is. Um, I just want black people to do better, man. Some people have definitely given up. Some people is like, you know what, this YouTube shit is all about fun. When I came on YouTube, I first of all I came looking for answers to see if anybody else had these same thought process that I have, right? And I noticed that a lot of them did. So then we started talking and debating on the issues and also debating on some of the solutions. I noticed a lot of people have backed down on it. I haven't even found mild solutions, but at this point, like we're generations behind, so there's no mild solution. If you do not want to be the butt of the joke, then we have to, get to work. I've already realized myself that I won't be able to benefit from this. You know, I won't be able to benefit from it. Maybe in the future, in the next 50 years, I'll be looked at as a Amos Wilson, or Claude Anderson, maybe a Fred Hampton, Malcolm X. Who knows? But the one thing I do want is for my people to be better and to be well respected. Um, some people have told me that YouTube is fun and all of that. Um, I'm like, yeah, and I tried it, like I really did, And people, know me for kind of like making my arguments and setting them in stone and shit. But I'm looking at the clock, you guys, so I gotta get the fuck out of here. I'm supposed to be somewhere. I gotta be somewhere at 7. All right, but yeah, it's just weird, man. It is seriously weird. I don't have no problems with none of you guys, man. I'm just so tired. Shit. Yo, I don't have no problem with none of you guys. It's like shit, man. When I used to listen to a lot of these guys, I'm like, I mean, I just had a different mindset. But then when I started getting into this, I'm like, man, these motherfuckers they really crazy. A lot of these people are crazy. I mean, psychologically crazy, big time, man. Um, some people have even told me this, but I'm serious. I'm sticking to one fucking plan only. One plan. One plan. Um, I don't like when people lie on here about issues. Like my whole thing about YouTube panels, which I'll be doing my own next month. The one thing I got a problem with is the lies. So I had beef with one guy because I could just read through the lies when he talked about how many women he fucks around with and how he's done messing around with women in America. He's about to go overseas and all this other crazy shit because he feels that black women and women in a vacuum have been Americanized, and so he's going to. I'm not even say where the fuck he's going, but that's where he's going, right? And I'm like, okay, cool, man. But here in America, I know why you are the way you are, motherfucker. I ain't never ran away from shit that I couldn't fix anymore. This could be fixed, and even if it doesn't get fixed in your generation, it can still be fixed. But that's where it is right there. This is where the whole obsidian shit comes in because motherfuckers don't want to fix it because it doesn't benefit them. I mean, I can even put it in standard terms right now where you got to help out Ray Ray and Pookie's kids. You can't get with the Ray Ray and Pookie women. You can't get with the Shaquillas and the Shanaes. You can't get with them. You got to look at the bigger picture. You know, they might get mad. You still got to look at the bigger picture. This is why you have Ray Ray and Pookie's out there. Oh, I don't want them motherfucking niggas around my kids, and so you got to avoid the relationship. You have to take and look at the bigger picture. Motherfuckers don't want to do that. Cause I'm not raising anybody's kids. Too much work. I mean, I do it. And I can't tell you how many kids, man, that have said some very, very good things about me, and it's come back, and I'm like, damn. I don't really. I mean, I'll probably mention some of that on previous videos, but I mean that's the biggest reward, man. And if they can keep it consistent, then we'll be all right. So let me go ahead and hurry up and get out of here. You guys be cool. Sam Sim. Peace.